This man had been saving $500 every single day for 35 years. Yet strangely, he lived like a homeless person. He used an old toothbrush to comb his hair, and even the mirror in front of him was pieced together from discarded nail clippers. Even stranger, every day he hung bottles of mineral water in the air and used a needle to carefully poke 3 tiny holes in the bottom of each bottle, lavishly using bottled water to take a shower. After washing up, the man would put on a tank top, grab his headphones, and begin his daily morning exercise. But instead of heading to a park, he worked out in a narrow, eerie stairwell cluttered with hanging snacks and drinks. When he finished, he removed his headphones and knelt to pray, not to a deity, but to a plain red backpack. Because if it weren't for this backpack, which refreshed itself daily, he never would have survived 35 years trapped in the stairwell. The man finished praying, carefully cradled the backpack in his arms, unzipped it, and took out a juice box, which he neatly stacked against the wall. Then he pulled out a handful of cash and tossed it onto a massive pile of bills in the corner. Finally, he sorted the remaining items in the backpack, categorizing them one by one. Only then did he consider his day's work done, casually munching on an apple as he read a book. In contrast to the man's tidy and disciplined life, the old man living upstairs had completely given up hope after being trapped in the stairwell for 35 years. His days passed in a daze. He never exercised, rarely cleaned himself, and aside from eating and sleeping, had long lost all ability to care for himself. The stairwell he lived in was piled with garbage and reeked of filth, the polar opposite of the clean and orderly space the man maintained. But the old man didn't care. Everything in the stairwell refreshed itself every day anyway. No matter how much he wasted or trashed, he could never run out. Judging by appearances, no one would believe this filthy old man had once been a sharp, confident police officer, and that the energetic man beside him used to be a petty thief on the run. Even more unbelievable, 35 years ago, the old man had accidentally shot and killed the younger man's brother. But trapped in this infinite loop of a stairwell with no escape, the two had long since reconciled and become dependent on each other. Just when the man thought life would continue on like this forever, something unexpected happened. One day, the old man suddenly clutched his head in agony and screamed in pain. The younger man rushed to his side, watching him with deep concern. The old man seemed to be suffering immensely, mumbling incoherently. Before the younger man could make sense of what was happening, the old man suddenly went limp and died right there. Within just a week of the old man's death, the man began to mentally unravel. The oppressive, claustrophobic stairwell and his growing loneliness made him irritable and volatile. He trashed the carefully maintained space, turning it into chaos. Longing for release, he pulled out the handgun that had sat untouched for 35 years. Crying uncontrollably, he placed the cold barrel in his mouth, ready to end everything. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't pull the trigger. After 35 years, the gun's internal parts had rusted into useless scrap. In the end, the man was left in utter despair, realizing he was doomed to remain trapped in this never-ending stairwell loop with no way to ever escape.